So maybe you didn't grow up with a parent or a mentor or a teacher that taught you everything you need to know about finances and money. And you're wondering, if I didn't learn, how am I going to teach my children the value of money? Let's discover that right after this. So how do you teach your child the value of money? Well, you got to start with the basics. You got to teach them about earning money, spending it, saving money, managing it, how to grow it, protect it, giving money away. There are so many aspects. You got to start at the beginning. So let's start with the first one. The first one is earning. Now, if you think about how you learned to earn money, it might have been a job you took on as a teenager. It might have been a job that you had in college, or maybe you didn't go to work until after college or grad school. Well, if you think about it, we learned along the way something about the value of our time, the value about services that we deliver. And when we deliver services and bring value to others, we're compensated. And that might be done from something that we made, something that we resold, some service that we provided, something that we did online and people found value to that. There's so many ways to earn money. When our kids were small, they would turn in the bottles and the cans for money. We had a son that was interested in cars, and he would recycle the hubcaps. So he was like, "Pull over, Mom, there's a Ford." And we'd get the hubcaps, and he would sell those. They had the lemonade stands. They discovered on a really hot day at the soccer field, Gatorade and ice cold water was the bomb. You could get like $1.50 for a bottle. So the little entrepreneurs start to come out in these children when you let them earn money. So they don't have to wait until they go to college or they're out on their own. Let them learn the value of delivering a service, delivering a value, and earning money while they're little. It'll stick with them for life. And you might uncover a little entrepreneur at your house. Now, spending money. Most adults, most clients over the years that have an issue with spending discover it's not about spending. It's about managing. They didn't save enough, and so it feels like they're running out of money before time every month. But if you're spending properly and you have a good foundation on how to spend, you're always going to have that in control. There's always going to be enough. So how did you learn to spend money? It might have been when you had that first job when you were 14, 15, 16, saving for that first car. It might have been later when you had your first career job and you went to the job fair after college and you landed your first job and you started getting paychecks and you had to learn how to allocate the money as it came in. And you had to create a spending plan. So if you have a spending plan, you'll know it. If you don't have a spending plan, you'll especially know it, because you'll have the regular, recurring experience of running out of money before you run out of days in your month. Do we want our children to have that experience? No. What if our children learned how to spend money? Because it's never a spending problem, it's a savings problem, right? So what if they learned how to spend money properly? If they got to practice with their own money when they're little, it's just going to be second nature to them, like the other things that we train them to do when they're small. So how do we help a child spend? Well, if they have a piggy bank, if they have a way of saving their money that they get for their birthday, money they get maybe for an allowance or some earned money from chores they did around the house, they put their money in their piggy bank, and when it's time to spend it, they take their money to the toy store or to the wherever, the IT store, to get what they're going to buy. And you let them count out the coins, count out the dollars. I would prefer this not be a virtual experience, not be a digital experience. There's some value to counting the tangible money. And there's a math benefit to that too. So let them spend their own money. They're going to have the joy of owning something that's truly theirs. They're going to experience delayed gratification. There's so much they can learn by spending their own, even at an early age. And then saving. The value of saving, we've already talked about. Saving and spending go hand in hand. And then there's managing. When you're managing your resources, when you're managing your money, you're kind of growing it and protecting it at the same time. It's like a game, maybe a soccer game, where there's offense and defense happening at the same time. You need to make sure that what you're growing is protected, but it's still growing in that protective structure. And then giving. You know, the happiest people I know on the planet are givers. They open their hand and they're willing to share with others and make a difference in their communities, make a difference on the planet. Those are the happiest people in my experience. So why not teach our children, while we're teaching them how to earn, spend, manage, save, and all these other things, teach them to give as well and have that little charitable heart. And who knows, you might end up with that child that has that charitable heart. They go out into the world, do something wonderful, and find that cure for cancer, make all the difference on the planet. So why not raise one of those? So you want to work with your kids, you don't know when to start. How old should they be before they can actually learn the value of money and learn how to manage it? And I say as soon as possible. As long as they're old enough to not swallow the pennies that they're counting, they are old enough. And when do they graduate to the next level of learning money's inherent value, right? Well, they never graduate to the next level. It's always a dialogue that's moving. It's always a conversation that's happening. When our children are little, they have this toddler's creed. You may have heard of the toddler's creed. And it goes something like this. If I want it, it's mine. If I see it, it's mine. If I think I might want to have it, it's mine. If it's broken, it's yours, right? But the toddler's whole world is, it's either mine, it's not mine, or it doesn't exist. So we got to program for that, right? We got to help them with that. It's either theirs or it's not theirs. If we want them to have a generous heart, we've got to help them understand there's value to it not being theirs sometimes. And if it is theirs, how do they manage that? After they're little and they start to learn, they grow out of the toddler years, you think about allowances, earning chores. How do they get money into their household that they can start to learn how to manage? Saving for their first car, maybe getting that first job when they're a teenager. College planning, where's the money going to come from for that? And then that final launch into adulting, where they start to earn their own money, buy their own insurance, pay for their own cell phone, all of that. You want to stay in the conversation from the time they're really small all the way through. And here's the thing, if you let children help when they're little, they'll want to help when they're older. And consider this, even if you have to start really, really small, start something. Have a conversation and start something. So you probably have others that you care about in your life that have similar questions about their family financial issues, how to teach their kids about money. Share this video with them and add your comments about your journey and what you've learned. Like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified so each new amazing money video can come directly to you. It's been great sharing this valuable planning information with you today. I'll see you soon. I'm Judy Copenbarger. God bless.